UFC Bantamweight, Andre Ewell, back on the show. Thank you so much for the time, man. How's life?
Man, better and always getting better. Had a beautiful boy, and he's doing amazing things, making me over here feeling really old and ugly. He's the 2.0 version of the better version of me, I guess you can say. But besides that, surgery, healthy, mood wise, everything. I'm ready to go. Nice fight coming up, and excited, and obviously happy to be back on your show. So that's always a W.
Appreciate it. Now, before we get into all of that, there's a lot to unpack right there. I wanted to talk about the Reebok deal, man. It's about to run out. You didn't get your cowboy boots, but Venom's coming in next year. Venom cowboy boots. I think that sounds much better, doesn't it? Doesn't it have a ring to it?
It does have a ring to it, and just like the fact is in, because Venom is basically on that little snake or the snake type of cobra spikes, and where normally that fits with it, and like down like Texas and whatnot, it's cowboy boots with snakes, rattlesnakes. You feel me? So I love where you went with this right now. So 100%. I'm about to honestly speak to Venom about that.
Yeah, I think Venom's gonna be much better for the UFC and the fighters. I don't know why. Just get a feeling, you know what I mean? Because they're in the fight game. They understand the fighters.
No, yeah. That is true. They are in the fight games. They not only understand us, just the fact is that like a lot of people have been like kind of pushing and like more giving a voice. And John Jones was literally one of the big voices that honestly spoke up about, hey, we want more money, and I think this is the better direction that they did to give us more money. So I feel like that's honestly a win for the fighters at the moment, but taking steps at a time,
Yeah, I'm excited to see what kind of kits they create for you guys, man. Hopefully it'll be more personalized, but we'll see what happens. You mentioned the son. You got a son now, a newborn, and nowadays it's kind of unique because of the pandemic and all this stuff going on in the world and a lot of paranoia. Are you paranoid any?
Right now, no. Then I was, but I think the paranoia was kicking in because the fact is that there's a chance I would have able to see my boy being born, and I was there for my first son, and then it got like obviously in a situation where they took him away from me and everything. But now it's like off that situation, they could have did the same thing or went into that direction, because no matter how you end up looking at it, like people end up becoming very spiteful off of small things, or could be spiteful, They can come down to my boy like, well, you wasn't in the hospital when I was born, but now you can never use that tool against me type thing. Like I was there every time, I was there when you made your first step. Like, like those are like actions that fathers need to honestly be there, and fathers that do want to be there automatically cherish. And I'm not one of those fathers that actually cherish those little small things, seeing my boy being born, going there for his shots, there when he's crawling and rolling, him with his first smile, his first words, like, you want to be there and you want to be a part of that. So that's where I'm at with it. So it was like mind blowing. There's a chance I could have been kicked out of it or whatnot,
Yeah, man. It's a unique year, 2020. I never expected it to be like this. Training wise, how was the training during the pandemic after the injuries?
Truth be told, after the injury and the pandemic, I still kind of kept to my normal schedule. It was just a fact that I had to do everything slow in a unique way. Like I didn't have to use a bag to honestly for my healing process. It was basically first walk, because I ended up getting my knees done too. And my right arm, I still had my left arm, so I just worked the mess out of the left arm. I was still in there doing cardio, and just to keep shape. So the time that I was able to start coming back to things, everything was automatically on the flow, which it was. And right now I'm having like an awesome camp. Doesn't matter how you end up flipping at it. I was on the awesome camp as soon as my first surgery happened. Like, I got my right knee done. As soon as I was able to walk, I was already moving. But before that, I was doing push-ups, one-arm push-ups, But then I ended up getting the right arm done. And then now I've been doing full-arm push-ups. So everything kind of like floated in the right direction for me,
Going back to that last fight, you broke the arm early in the first round. So basically you fought 3 rounds with a broken arm. Explain fighting with one arm and also the adjustments that you made during that fight.
The best adjustments I go ahead and say was that, be able to stick and move, move with the foot. But obviously if you end up like low-key like keying on it from the first round. As soon as it happened, I actually tried to move into the process of trying to finish the fight. And, I'm not, I know I'm a southpaw and all, but I'm not, fully dominant with the left hand. Majority of, my knockouts really come. Actually, I had a lot with my left hand, not being lying. So my apologies for that one. But my powers is basically set off of the right, Left hand is more sneaky, right is more powered, And I took away my right arm of the power got taken away. So it just had to turn into me, honestly, basically techniquing the situation, turn it into a paint job. Or, I became an artist. They called me the artiste, So my adjustment wasn't one of those situations, had to be a big adjustment, It would have been a different story if we're looking at a guy that was a black belt, or dangerous with the stand-up. But the thing is, I believe I'm the best stand-up fighter at 35, to be honest. And that's proven with one arm or with two. You give me legs, it's automatically on and popping. So I'll turn that into a party, But the adjustments just came easily and smooth because I'm already used to swinging one hand, I literally broke my left hand where I could only use my right hand. You take away my right hand, I'll use my left hand. Take away both limbs, I use my feet. Take away my feet, I bite you.
Definitely. Well, a lot of people thought you could have just said, okay, between the rounds, my arm's broken. I'm not gonna, go further. I'm looking at my career. So thinking about that, you just saw Sean O'Malley fight Marlon Vera, and he got kicked in the leg, and there's a lot of controversy around that situation. But
See, I'm gonna argue that case, man.
Are you gonna argue that case?
I'm gonna argue that case because, truth be told, like the kicks that old boy did, that's one of those kicks it wouldn't actually done that to him. It's just like one of those fluke situations, but it's his style, because I don't know if you end up checking. As a fact, you can go back to my last fight or the fight that when I fought in Dos Santos. It's the style that we have, O'Malley and I, we have I'm not saying it's the same, but very similar. To the moment of his movement, my movement's something similar. You'll catch on something that you can say, all right, it's one of the same or the opposite, but it's the same type of thing. And the style of ours, it's where it's like a double-edged sword. It gives us the advantage of speed, power, surprising. We'll go ahead and catch you. We'll knock you out type thing, But then there's another side where you get very clumsy. And you can try to fix it, but it's kind of hard. And that's literally our flaw with the style. We're clumsy. To the moment where it seems like we're overreaching, or it seems like we're trying to overstep or trying to get away or something in that category. Our ankles ain't made for that right there. That's why he ends up wearing those little ankle sleeves on his foot. He twisted it. Then the fact is that he's using it by kicking it. Hey, and then, it kind of ends up adding up. So am I giving Chito that type of, oh, I kicked them and, I got deadly kicks? Nah, bro, you barely even touched them. If you end up really relook at that fight, Chito barely touched him until he got on the ground. The only part that he needs to automatically be excited for was when you had him on the ground and you start grounding and pounding him. And to be honest, that's something that we should expect. You had him on the ground, he's hurt, grounded and pounded. That's your job, And yeah, you won, but that's the part you need to be excited about, as in, hey, you finished the fight with your ground and pound. Not hey, I hurt him with my leg kick. Nah, bro, you didn't do that. But that's my opinion on the situation, and I know other people have their own sights on it. But in my eyes, I felt like Chito was going to end up winning the fight and ended up probably getting robbed, or he would have ended up finishing him. But the way that was finished, I go ahead and say whatever. I feel like they need to run that back anyways. My opinion.
What do you think about how O'Malley reacted to that fight, though? The way he reacted to losing.
Not the best. He was good when he said, hey, and then he comes back cha-cha or, doing the Macarena and stuff. It was like, come on, man. But I end up getting it. I see his point of view is just saying, hey, what ended up happening was a fluke accident and I'm good back. But Chito's not that type of person that'll just run it back. It has to, he's going to make him work because, it came from you trash talking. So he's going to make him come back up on the rankings and everything. So every time the name gets brought up, he'll say no to it unless he ends up getting ranked above him. he's going to force to be fighting. You know, he's going to force to fight it. But his reaction, if he would have just stuck with, hey, things happen and stayed the humble route, he would have been good. And then, you know, like when people start talking to him, then slowly be like, yeah, to be honest, hey, I felt like I was a better guy, you know, to be honest. If I didn't twist my ankle or I didn't mess up my foot, I beat him. But it happened. There you go. That's the best response you can end up giving. Like, you know, because to be honest, talent-wise, I truly do feel Omani was better than Chito. You know, just Chito is, like how you stated, Chito is a gritty person that's like one of the most dangerous black belts in Bantamweight. You have to give him his credit, you know. But talent-wise, I feel Sean has it. But the gritty and I'm about to break you down, Chito has it. And then you got me. That's just I'll beat both of them. If me and Chito run that back, I'm breaking them. I'm breaking them off. We got to basically have to do that, and he knows it. He knows why. So we got to do that.
Now, you know, in your last fight, coming off of that decision, Jonathan Martinez felt like he won, and then you said, okay, you know, I'm gonna offer you the rematch. Was that ever discussed when you were talking about returning?
Nope. No, because it was the factors, and he already shut it down. And it's my whole point on this. And I'm always going to end up sitting there stating when it comes to the decisions, everybody's mind can end up going any direction, as in how they feel. Like, I felt like I killed them all 3 rounds. You know, don't get me wrong. I feel like he had his highlights, but I know he didn't beat me in the first one because I dropped him. And on top of that was teeing off on him with one hand. Second round, I was beating him for basically 4 minutes in excuse me for cussing, but 4 minutes and 10 seconds. He gets a highlight of one body shot / arm where it ends up placing me in pain. The broken arm at that, you know? And I end up fighting through it and still survived it. And that's a round I should have automatically had. But they felt like they weren't, you know, like some people felt like he ended up winning that round. But granted that he didn't, you know? And then now the third round, he didn't end up touching me. It was basically me sticking and moving as in the pain of everything. It ends up happening, right? I felt that I won. He feels like he so-called won, even though his mind was on a different world playing after the fight was done. It was that moment where I stated, hey, I end up understanding these like split decisions or close. And my mindset and how I'm raised, you run it back. That's just like that. If you feel like you beat me, talk to me, talk to my manager. My manager will talk to your manager. Your manager knows me and has my number. He can easily call me, and we can easily meet this up where Dodge and those, you know, in the house, they can have a full conversation where we can set it up and run it back. I clearly told him, let's run it back. They know he knows that I said, hey, run it back. But his mindset was, oh, I'm not going to return or fight someone I felt that I beat. But he didn't beat me because 3 judges said that I won. So that's that situation. You got to flip it and say, okay, hey, let's run it back. If you beat me so damn easily and whatnot, you know? So, and granted, I had 2 arms. I finished the fight. But that's how it is. But it has been brought up, and he basically declined it. But now I'm on my way, you know, like I said, I'm on my way back. I'm about to fight even someone that I believe is more with heart and have a little bit better, a lot better skill set that is going to be very explosive and exciting for the both of us, you know.
Yeah, speaking about your next opponent, Irwin Rivera, he's 1-1 in the UFC. You know, what are your thoughts on him and the performances he's had so far this year?
Definitely, I think he's excited because one, he came in and he fought what's his name? It's like Chiga or
Gige.
Basically the 45er, and I know him I know of him. Yeah, there you go. I know him for like a very while, and to this day I still feel like he doesn't like me, right? But the dude is very, you know, he's dangerous. He's one of those like dangerous type people. And granted that I feel like my boy Jamal Emmert beat him, but you know they gave him a fight, and I know that the dude's dangerous. He's like really good with his kicks and everything. And for old boy to come up on a day or 2 day notice type thing, or less than that, and end up fighting them, you automatically get my respect. Because only people there's only certain type of people that end up doing that, and I know I'm one of them. And so he gets points with me, you know. So I know he's excited. I know he's game. And the funny thing is, like, people ended up turning my fight down or my return down. Like, you know, a lot of people, or up to like 3 to 4 people that my name got brought up to, they ended up turning me down. and Irwin was one of the people that actually said yes to it. So he ends up getting extra credit in my books, like, you know. So now it's just going to be a mindset of, we're going to keep this exciting, and I'm going to definitely do my due diligence to finish the fight, you know, finish him, because he ends up earning that full respect from a samurai to another samurai type right there, you know.
Four guys turned you down. That means you're doing something right.
And it's that part. I'm definitely doing something right. And then granted, you know, it's like, yeah, you know, so it's a good feeling. That's all I can end up saying on my side. It's a good feeling that people are turning me down, but also people are keeping my name relevant, where people are calling me out, and at the same time, my name is getting brought up to fight other type of stars, and, you know, stuff like that. So I'm definitely blessed in a great position that I'm at right now, and obviously my meditating and me constantly being positive and pushing forward is doing something.
You know, you coming off the injuries, right? The arm, the knees, and you get back into training. You know, did you focus on anything in particular that you wanted to work on before you actually got into a training camp?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's always jits, just jits, because I obviously in wrestling too, as in the full kick in. Because like I said, for the whole year, I had a bucket tear with my right leg, and that ended up tweaking to the moment that I had to get surgery on my left knee for that bucket tear, or for that tear, you know. MCL tear and everything. So as soon as my knees got better, it was wrestling and jits. So it's like always wrestling and jits. But I always end up being tuned on everything that I do. I stay focused on everything that I do. You know, granted that I was in like a car accident like 2 months ago, or a month ago, or 2 months ago, and some change. You know, it was pretty bad. It was like car was full on, total direct and everything. Man ended up hitting me, and, you know, good thing is I'm alive, he's alive, and, you know, but still puts your life in perspective of, you know, you know, you want to end up seeing what you want to do, and fighting is something I want to do. You know, I want to leave a legacy of what I was great at, and I know I'm good with my hands. I know I can kick. I know that I can end up wrestling, and I know I can do jits. Like, you know, I'm a practitioner to the sport, and me just want to tune that and leave a legacy where my two boys are able to be like, hey, that's my dad, and hey, I want to follow in that footsteps, or hey, I want to end up doing that. It's something like that. And granted, like, it took a accident to just say, hey, we got to get back on tune, even though I was already motivated. But I'll tell you, when your life's on the line, you flashing in front of your eyes and everything. Because I had like a cranberry juice. Let me tell you, I had a cranberry juice in there in that accident, and it was a bottle, and that bottle broke, and all the cranberry juice is all around me and all around the car, and I'm thinking I'm dying, hands down, you know. Wow. But like I stated, little motivation to keep me focused.
Damn, that's crazy right there. Now, I saw a picture you put up, man. 2 weeks out, you're shredded. You know, did you change anything with the diet, or are you just like really low going in?
Oh, I'm messing with Alpine Organics, like, you know, a little CBD, and, you know, it's making my mind straight on like vegan mode. Like, I do always jump into like straight vegan, and about 5 to 7 weeks out before my fight. And like I stated, I've been clearly training since since my last fight, of doing what I was able to do, you know, and thinking that I'll be back at it in September. And then something happened, and then they moved me into August. And so it's just me automatically staying prepared, you know. So nothing really changed, because I've always been like this, you know. I always go to the moment where I'm on greens and fruit type of diets. And it's just something that works for me, you know.
You've had a couple wins in the UFC, but you haven't had your finish yet. You know, like, is that something that sits in the back of your mind? You know, you need to get that finish. You need to get that back-to-back wins. Is that all in there heading into this fight?
Oh, definitely, because the back-to-back wins, like this next one, this will be my back-to-back, and I feel like it is going to be a finish. And, you know, and I got to obviously make a statement for being gone for so long, and I got to be irrelevant and type of thing. So a finish with this type of opponent, which I feel like it will happen, and it's going to be, you know, spectacular type fight, and a spectacular finish with that caliber type of fighter. It's like set in stone for me to automatically just to deliver for the fans and everything. So with that, yeah, it's definitely on my mind. Like, I got to end up doing the finish. It's a finish that will set the tone for me to making my new contract. Like I'm looking at numbers and I want numbers, and that's what I want to do. So yeah, finishes always on my mind.
Yeah, and also like the UFC, they seem like they're giving everybody post-fight interviews now, especially with the social distancing going on. And I know you didn't get one your last fight, so I'm pretty sure you have a lot to say after this win.
Oh, I definitely have a lot to say. I feel like I got to say something from my last fight and then this fight. And thank you for reminding me, because I didn't get my last interview, so I'm going to have to talk about that fight. And I'm probably going to start off by talking with that fight, talking about, I was out there with one arm and everything. And then I'll be like, oh, yeah, and today, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll probably end up doing something. I think my post-interview is going to be very fun. I'm going to keep it very entertaining, because it's all about, selling yourself to the world where they want to constantly keep tuning in just to see what you're doing and when you're ready to fight so they can watch it, Like on the card, I know there's going to be some good good fights. I got my big brother T Woodley. He's fighting. Granted, a lot of fans are kind of trolling on the comments right now. UFC posted the little poster, and I'm on the bottom of it Team Woodley. Man, I'm hoping that I get co-main. Everybody's butchering it, oh, why you think you deserve to be co-main? Why you think you want to be co-main? Or why you think he's gonna beat him? Hey, Covington's gonna kill Woodley. In my eyes, it's nah. Granted, I know that he didn't end up having the best performance in his last two fights, but Woodley is a very determined and hardworking type of fella. He ends up placing the right people around him where he ends up having to progress and make progress, and 100% for me to share a cage with him in the same building, that's 100% points. And then my boy Kevin Holland, he's also fighting that night, so I'm excited about that too. So stuff like that.
No doubt, man. Well, it all goes down September 19th in Las Vegas. Andre, always appreciate the time. Good luck to you, man, and all the best, man, with you and your family.
I appreciate that, and the same thing on your side, man. Likewise. Thank you for having me. Truth be told, thank you. Until next time.
Hey guys, Sasha Platnikoff here, letting you know to tune in to SCMP Post Fight for all your weekly martial arts news.